Are you earning the same amount in India that you were earning in your motherland? Hi, my name is Ivana and I've been living in Bangalore, India now for more than 5 years. Every once in a while, I do this Q&A where you guys ask me anything and everything about my life in India, travel in general, and some really personal questions. So without further ado, let's just see what you guys had to ask me and what my answers will be. Are you earning the same amount in India that you were earning in your motherland? No! Fun fact, I quite often get the remark that, oh, it's a really good life that you're living in India on your Western salary. And I'm like, I don't have a Western salary here, my friend. I am an entrepreneur in India and I have Indian clients. So yeah, my salary is also in the ranks of Indian standards. I took a very big step back in my salary when I moved to India. I was kind of like going in that direction of my Dutch salary back in 2019 because my work was really picking up steam and I was starting to do more corporate work as well. But then COVID blew up everything and I had to start from scratch and I'm still rebuilding from that. Hopefully one day we'll get there. What do you think of the Indian education system? Have you ever visited any IIT or willing to go? I have never visited any IIT, but from what I've seen online is that they're very difficult to get in, and then the level of education that you get there in terms of the content is at an extremely high level. So that is my perception of IITs. What I think of the Indian education system, it is very heavy on the content. In the Dutch education system, you're really stimulated to think for yourself, to express your own opinion, to question the information that is being presented in front of you, and that I feel could develop more in the Indian education system. Obviously, Indians are super successful, super hardworking because of the extreme expectations that are being put upon them in the Indian education system. So I think that's why they also go so far in life, and so many, CEO positions in the world have been taken over by Indians. Content-wise, I think Indian education systems are perfect. I think just the soft skills and thinking for yourself, that could be grown a lot more. I think that will definitely happen in the future because Indians are crazy ambitious and competitive. So if that helps you to become more successful, I'm quite sure it will be added to the curriculum. As an individual from another third world country, Sri Lanka, what way would you recommend someone who wants to come and reside in Bangalore? What sort of career path to focus on, job, cost of living and such? I feel this would be a video completely on its own. First of all, I wouldn't call India a third world country. India is a reconstructing country. And I feel right now also my life in India is extremely developed. So I wouldn't call it a third world country anymore. However, if you're coming to India as an outsider, the biggest thing I think you have to understand is that there are already 1.3 billion people here, of whom a lot are really well educated. So if you want to work here, if you want to find a job here or start a business here, you will have to bring something different to the table that all those 1.3 billion people cannot do. What I have seen quite a lot of foreigners do from a lot of countries around the world, from Japan to South America to the US to the UK, is actually going into research and getting research projects in India. But otherwise, if you're just in the traditional walks of life and traditional job, it's going to be very difficult because there are 1.3 billion people who are willing to do the job. There is no competing to that. So I would say bring something unique to the table, and the easiest thing I would say would be a research job. How did you get to know about Bangalore? What fascinated you about the place? Well, the first time that I heard about Bangalore is because a Dutch girl who was watching my videos when I was still vlogging in Dutch was doing an internship in Bangalore, and she actually came to Kochi to visit me and she told me about Bangalore. The first thing also that she told me about Bangalore is you don't need to visit. Bangalore is only about the pubs and about the cafes. I was like, fair enough, because back then I hadn't seen that much of India. So, pubs and cafes. I thought I had that back in Amsterdam as well. And then I met my friend who is now my boyfriend. I spoke about that in my Life in India video as well. I've linked that video down in the description below. He invited me actually to come to Bangalore. He showed me Bangalore as a local because he was living here actually. I really enjoyed that. I already saw that Bangalore has so much potential. What fascinated me about Bangalore is how fresh the vibe here is while still maintaining the local culture. And the longer I live here, the more I fall in love with that contrast. It's just such a modern, completely unique city in India, especially because of the startup culture. People just think differently, they work differently, different ideas flourish here where they would never flourish in other parts of India. And I really, really love that because obviously I'm an entrepreneur myself, and that combined with the local Kannadiga culture, Bangalore is amazing. I love it. What do you think about India's payment system, UPI? Is good or bad? And does government have to allow foreigners to use of UPI so foreigners are able to spend more money in Indian tourism? That is an extremely good question and apparently a very popular one as well. UPI, in case you don't know, in case you're a foreigner or you don't have any experience with Google Pay, is a very easy payment system where you're not even using your bank card anymore. Basically, you just link your bank account to Google Pay or any other payment provider. Like for instance, over here we have PayU and what is the other one? There's so many payment providers, but there are like a couple of big ones, of which GPay is the one that I personally use the most, #non-spam. I think it would be a fantastic idea if foreigners could even just buy an anonymous, maybe up to 10K maximum prepaid UPI card where they could use GPay on the go, because one of the biggest issues traveling as a foreigner is that you can rarely use your foreign bank card. You can use your international credit card quite a lot, I have to say. That is really good. But then UPI is so much easier. I pay all my autowalas with UPI. I pay so many small purchases, like even on the streets, the chai walas or the street food snacks, you can just pay with UPI. So I think that would be a lot easier because then you don't have to fumble with all the, small cash and like giving exact amounts, and it's just a hassle when you constantly have to deal with cash and you can lose cash. Bangalore startup scene, I know you're watching. I need you to bring this to life. But I love that question. That is such an interesting and original question and really thinking from a service perspective. So thank you for highlighting that. Do you ever think your life would have been more good and better in Netherlands than in India? Ooh, I mean, I can't lie that thought has crossed my mind many times, especially going through 2022. However, every time I imagine and I picture my life back in the Netherlands, there's just no way. I love everything about my simple daily life in India. Just taking an auto, going to the cafes, doing the work that I do, meeting the people that I meet here in Bangalore, which are very different back in Amsterdam. There's no way. I love my life in India so much. Do you recommend India as a place to go for a honeymoon? Where in India specifically? Well, it depends on the kind of traveler that you are and what kind of honeymoon you want to have. See, if you're an adventurous traveler, if you are a history buff, if you love archaeology, those kind of things, like obviously India has an endless treasure chest for you to explore. If you only like lazing around on a beach, then definitely, Lakshadweep could be an option, or the Andaman Islands. I haven't been there yet myself, but from what I've seen, definitely could be a great option. A friend of mine who has been to both the Andamans and the Maldives actually said she liked the Andamans better than the Maldives. So yeah, India could definitely be a great honeymoon destination, and you will definitely find anything that you're looking for in a honeymoon in India. Just plan it accordingly to your expectations, because sometimes things in India don't go according to expectations. How did traveling change you as a person? Was it an eye-opener for anything? Love you and your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Traveling changed me as a person in a way where you can now pretty much put me with anyone in a room and I will be able to have an interesting conversation, because I've met so many people around the world from so many different cultures, from so many walks of life. That's also the eye-opener thing here. Everybody has an interesting story to tell if you actually know what kind of questions to ask, if you actually take the time to sit down with somebody and listen to their background, listen to their story. A lot of people open up and you just see how many different ways there are to live life. You develop also a lot more compassion and empathy and patience with people as well. What is your ambition in life and what motivates you to keep going? I always thought my motivation in life was to become rich, have a fancy home. But then I had my burnout when I was 30 and everything changed. For me, the biggest insight from that was if you don't have your health, you're not able to do anything. So my biggest ambition in life is to grow old in a very, very healthy way. Then traveling across the world really taught me that yes, you are a whole person on your own and you can live a wonderful life by yourself. But when you look at so many different cultures, so many different people living their lives in different ways, I feel that family in the end is the thing that is going to make you the most happy, and it is something that science has actually proven a lot. So my biggest ambition in life now is to build a family, to have a secure home for my family, to have a secure financial future for my family. I am already doing something I love, so career-wise, if I would name an aspiration, of course, hit 1 million subscribers, but I enjoy what I do so much right now. I am so fulfilled. That box is already ticked for me, just the family box hasn't been ticked yet, and I think that's also what keeps me going. I am so looking forward to the day when, I have my own family. Which Hollywood movie / TV series are you currently obsessed with and why? I loved Bling Empire New York. It is so good. I've never really felt connected to New York, but throughout that show, I kind of gained an interest in the city. Not that I still want to visit, but it really gives a new perspective on New York. If not for India, which other country would you have moved to? Hong Kong, because my brother is a Hong Kong local. He has a permanent residency there, so it would be very easy for me to go to Hong Kong and break into, the Hong Kong entrepreneur scene with my brother's connections and with his help, obviously. So yeah, Hong Kong would be the answer. How are you doing? That's such a sweet question. I am doing much better, but my life is really 50-50. And recently, listening to this one podcast from a life coach, I realized that probably will never go away. Your life will never be perfect. There will always be certain problems, but as long as you're focusing on the positives and the good things in your life and the blessings, I think it should all be better in the end. What I can say is after 2022, I am much, much stricter about my boundaries in 2023, and January therefore has already been a great month. So boundaries and I will be fine. I admire your fitness level. As a beginner at going at the gym, I'm curious about your exercise routine. Well, I actually made a whole video about this on my personal channel, how I eat everything and how I stay fit. So I will link that video down in the description below. Basically, my secret is I mind my food. 80% of your physique is the food that you put in your body. You can never out-exercise a bad diet. I could tell you my exercise routine, but it is nothing interesting. I just walk my dog 30 minutes a day and I do yoga once a week. That's it. My body and the way it looks is because I really mind the food that I eat. And no, I don't have Rajdhani buffets on a daily basis, guys. Like, what? I just make one video about a buffet and people think I eat that on a daily basis, but that's not true. I'm a very healthy eater, actually. When are you getting married? Somebody already gave the answer. 31st of February. This was asked so much. Guys, you're just a bunch of uncles and aunties, especially the uncles are very, very curious. Welcome to your first Indian wedding.
Thank you very much. Je sais qu'on a une masse de yours.
Not today. Whenever the time is there, obviously you will see it announced when appropriate. If you feel there's an answer in here that somebody else should hear as well, make sure to share this video with as many people as possible. And of course, you can always leave new questions for me down in the comments below for the next Q&A video. You can also put a thumbs up and join 280,000 other subscribers. It's free and you'll get a notification the next time I upload a new video. For now, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.